Hello everyone, this is Verde and here I am with one more video, one more World of Hacks video. I do think this is the latest video I ever recorded. That's because family is complicated. Anyway, here I am, and why didn't I open unlocks as soon as I started recording? Well, that's because that Head to Heart got a new upgrade to match its to serve as a reward. This upgrade, I hope I get one in the playthrough. So yeah, I think that's it. Let me see what I've got here. I got, oh yeah, what else have changed? There is some new features actually. There is a feature which is mass selling. When you sell a structure, you also sell everything that depends on it. If you can see here, it would sell this structure, you would also sell this structure over there. And also the price, the selling price is now scaled with the building's HP. If the building is damaged, it would give you less money overall. So there's that. Let me check something real quick. Okay, I am back. What did I miss? Oh yeah, new upgrade over here. Forgive me if I'm not playing at my best here. I am a little bit lightheaded right now. Mostly because, well, work, family, this kind of stuff. This kind of boring stuff. Anyway. I got... What else did I change since yesterday? Oh yeah, this is quite accurate. I also fixed some bugs. I found a pretty boring game crashing bug which I didn't like. That bug was a resultant of the game would crash if a sandworm was knocked back by a structure while being in the exact same position as that structure. The game would crash because it would try to make a small division by 0, which is, well, impossible. So then the game would crash, which is not fun for anyone, especially in a roguelike, because, well, you lose your progress if the game crashes. I did not implement a save feature because, well, when would I save, you know? Would I save every time you build something? That would be strange. I'm thinking about perhaps implementing a run saving feature. That would be nice. But yeah, I have some content in mind here to implement sooner rather than later. For instance, I have in mind to I want 2 more buttons to put in the main menu. I know I talked to you about avoiding putting too many buttons, and here I am putting too many buttons. But one of them is actually so you can have a place where you can find info about the game. Like, oh, I wanna know what this upgrade does. You go there and check it. You know. Oh, I want to know how much that upgrade gives you in terms of, you go there and check it. Get it? There is a cool feature that I would like to implement. What else? Oh yeah, and a challenges option. Why a challenge? What is a challenges option? Well, basically some runs with some specific presets. But before I implement challenges, have to implement some kind of a game objective here. Why? Well, mostly because having a game objective helps. Yeah, that's it. It helps the player know what he's doing, why he's doing that. And also I've realized that it really isn't interesting for the player currently to have a strong defensive core or a strong base. It is more interesting for the player to explore a lot, and I just got higher caliber here, which is nice. Which is the new upgraded. Okay, I'll talk about that later. Anyway, it is needed for we to have challenges. We need an objective basically. And the challenges are basically you have to fulfill that objective with slightly different rule set or with some slightly different things. Like for instance, you have to fulfill that challenge, but in order to fulfill that challenge, for instance, you need to win the game, but you are not allowed to put barriers. You get it? That would be a challenge. And Verde, why don't you put an achievement for that, an unlock? Because, well, having an unlock for that feels awkward, you know. Like, what is actually... Yeah, maybe I could put an unlock for that, but there are some role sets that you can't just recreate without the help of a little bit of a code. You see use of that nice little feature. If I wanted to, I could delete this whole thing away. And yeah, there is a small gradient of red to orange, just because I wanted to. Anyway, here's Wonderwall. No. His Thunderwall. What was the name of the music? I know someone is screaming at the screens telling me the name of the music, but I really don't know. That's a good thing about having little viewers. There is no one to point your mistakes, which is actually bad because you keep doing them. Well, anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, back to higher caliber. It is the new upgrade. It is basically a damage up, attack speed down. It increases the damage for every shooter by 50% and decreases their attack speed by 20%. You can see that the difference, one is linear, one is hyperbolic. It means that this gives you on average 20% more damage, and that goes linearly. And that's about it. Another thing, actually, you can see here, instead of putting a percentage, I just straight up put the amount of damage stuff do. Okay, but Verde, I'm seeing different numbers. There is 37.5 here and 48 here. That is because of inductance. But since inductance is I forgot the name, conditional upgrade, I wouldn't be able to put that in the tooltip. See? Anyway, this is quite interesting because Out with a Bang uses a multiplier on turret damage, and it can be seen the actual damage on the tooltip. Oh yeah, reload logistics. I still think I will have a lot of attack speed this game. Sadly, it isn't that early. I could have gotten this a little bit earlier. But oh yeah, damage numbers were changed a bit. Now they use engineering notation, and they are a little bit more random. There is that in the orientation. No, not orientation. Oh, more higher caliber. Don't mind if I do, because I will have a ton of attack speed. And they, yeah, higher caliber, you can see they stack multiplicatively with every other unlock, upgrade, yeah, upgrade. Words are hard, man. Anyway, they stack multiplicatively. My brain is just melting today. Oh, did I mention this? I changed the big boulder to be a rocky one. Yeah, having knockback against those fellas is kind of necessary, you see. I am thinking of a feature that maybe some of you guys will like, but I am actually not sure if I want to implement. That would be an ability to copy paste parts of your structures. So yeah, just that. You press Ctrl C, drag what you want to copy, then you Ctrl V or just V. I do think I will go with just C and V. Like Cheapest.io uses that system, and it is a quite nice system, you know. The game isn't, the scale of the game isn't that big yet, but I really hope it will be. I really want to perhaps change a little bit the amount of creatures. I want to focus a little bit more on quality, not quantity. You see, stronger creatures, but overall less of a smaller amount of them. Mostly because lag and because of scalability, and I want to be able to scale the game to... I want the game to keep scaling in terms of your base, but the enemies don't have to scale in number. They can be just scarier in general without actually having to be more numerous. Look at this. There are like 20 lurkers in a little spot. Why? You get it. Why not just a stronger lurker? That would be more interesting. Get it? Much more interesting. But that would require me to actually implement more creatures, which is not my forte. That word is right in English? I am never sure. So let me throw in a scan over there so I can have money. Bury with my money. Okay, no dying, please. Oh yeah, there is still that nasty bug. No, not actually a bug, is it? It is intended behavior because, well... But anyway, there is that not nice thing that is... The game warns you about a building taking damage, even though it only took damage on its shields, you know? Yeah, I know, it's really good to know when your buildings are taking damage, but the shield is supposed to actually take damage, you know? Maybe your build is focused on, I don't know, barrier zap, self-defense weaponry. Maybe you have a self-defense weaponry build, and then just warning you every time you attack a creature because that involves taking shield damage. Get it? Not cool. Was thinking here I could implement some tier 1 items. I was thinking of an item that slows creatures. You see, when you damage a creature, you slow that for a certain amount of time. That would be a basic item, and it would scale really badly, but it doesn't have to be good, you know. Not every tier 1 item should be attack speed and damage. Should be as good as attack speed and damage, you know. Yeah, what else? Movement speed, no. No, there is no way movement speed fits into this game because, well, your turrets don't move that often. Some will say actually that they don't move at all. Some might say that they don't move at all. one thing here. If I wanted, I could sell this whole branch here, which is interesting. I will put an unlock for that, which is sell sell a very large thing at once, you know, like, oh, I don't like this anymore. Oof. And what would that give you? That is interesting. What would that unlock actually unlock? Because they have to unlock stuff, I suppose. They don't have to be related, but I do prefer it that way. Don't take that don't take that sentence out of context, please. Because basically, if an unlocks something, I want that something that was unlocked to be at least, like, I want the player to be able to look at it and tell, oh, that makes sense. You know, that is important. Oh, and I fixed a bug where the game would crash if you sold your last building. Now you would just lose. Oh, this is actually a very nice way of knowing which buildings depend on which one. Like this one, every single one of these buildings depend on this. They actually use the same code. Now the left part is smaller, so they will be getting, not will be getting sold, because I mean, I've lost the video game right here. Totally. Got destroyed. It turns out the game loop is actually around 20 minutes. And I do want it to be a little bit longer games, but for that I will have to fix the number of enemies first, because at 20 minutes sometimes you can face some lag. And since I lost before 20 minutes, you win this time, you will get a second match, which will probably last 28 minutes, just because I was rambling about that. Mostly for two reasons. That was a lot of ends. Well, I perceive that average YouTube player, the YouTuber, the person who watches who records the video, prefers to have a video of about 40 minutes length. Why? Because I have perceived that most videos of gameplay of games are about 40 minutes length, are about 40 minutes long. Why? Well, I don't know, but I would prefer if my game would actually be of that. And I do think if it goes longer than 40 minutes, then it gets into that strange part of the game that, oh, I don't have time to actually play a match, and this is a roguelike, it should end sometime, you know? But at the same time, if it's shorter than that, well, there isn't just enough time to enjoy that cool, interesting build that you made, you know? I have done some cool, interesting builds, and I wanted to enjoy those for a little longer, but usually didn't have the opportunity due to mostly lag, actually. But I want to implement something to reduce the numbers of enemies, mostly when you explore the later game. It is really problematic, the amount of enemies, and they aren't even that strong, you know. But the problem is, for each tile, for each individual tile, when you explore, they get to spawn a little small horde, you know. And when several tiles trigger at the same time, you guessed it right. It gets pretty problematic, basically. So one thing I could change, and I will probably change, is to make the tiles be able to merge their attempts. Like if one tile is attempting to spawn and the second tile is attempting to spawn, they just look at each other and say, "Oh, let's I don't know, spawn together." And the tile would say, "Oh, that's perfect. That way we can spawn a big bag enemy, and instead of several of small ones." And the first tile would say, "Yeah, that would be perfect." And why am I picturing tiles talking to each other? All this development time is driving me insane. But anyway, I would prefer if I would be able to actually, oh, Smite. I like Smite. Smite is very tasty, very edible. Could you please disease? Thank you. Your death would bring me peace of mind that I will not lose my structures due to some ill-advised creatures ramming into my stuff. I was thinking about some very interesting creature that would spawn quite rarely, that it would be quite weak, but they would run through your base really quickly and then run off just to give you some money, like some kind of a golden chicken or something. I don't know if I would make that a golden chicken, perhaps a golden ball, because ball seems to be a regular enemy in this game for some reason. I mean, you're an hexagon. Your natural enemy would be a sphere, obviously. It is a shape which you have 6 edges. The sphere does not even have an edge. That's certainly frightening. That's certainly wrong, you know? You have to destroy the sphere. The sphere is bad. And you, the hexagon, is good. The sphere doesn't even have edges. I mean, the sphere doesn't even have the same numbers of the dimensions as you do. Think about that. The sphere is a complete alien being. While you, the hexagon, is the natural order of things, you know? You are the most perfect shape, and you will tell the spheres about this. Yeah, that is starting to get weird, I do think. That started to get weird, I decided. So anyway, there is another thing which I destroyed over there. Yeah. I was thinking of consumable active skills. Like some active skills which you don't keep forever and then don't have a cooldown properly. They actually have a charge. And they would be of the first level. They would be a basic one. Like for instance, a cool basic consumable would be something that, I don't know, I really don't know what they would do. Fix your structures? No, that would be lame. Perhaps give your structures a little bit of a boost. Don't know. Destroy all rocks in an area, small area, but still. You waste 1 upgrade, but you perhaps get 2 free. Give you money. Why? Why would you waste money on something to give you money? I mean, if that if that give you more money, that would have to give you more money than not getting it, because not getting it, it's worth something. And then it would make the option of not getting it trivial, which isn't cool. Perhaps something that gave you money based on your gold per minute, gold per on your income. That would be interesting, because in the early game, not worth it at all. The late game, perhaps worth it. Don't know. Perhaps getting into it in the early and. Oh, I do like this idea. Kind of a piggy bank, something like that. An upgrade that instead of an active skill, that instead of counting down, it counts up, and when it ends up counting up, and when it gets to actually countdown would be nice. It gives you money, but it gives you money after a certain time, instead of just giving you money. Perhaps giving you money after, 5 minutes, 30 seconds, or perhaps you could. It takes if it would take up, you would be able to decide how much time. If you would take it instantly, well, that would be just bad. Why would you do that? Because that would give you less money that you paid for it. If you popped it up after 20 minutes, well, you are in for a treat. And how much money would that give you? Well, how much time did you wait? Oh, that times your current income when you pop it. So if you pop it 20 minutes after you, oh, that would be 20 minutes of current income. That's a lot of income. Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, just that would be cool. I do think I am implementing that as a tier 1 actually. As a tier 1. The problem with the common upgrades is that they have to be contained, they can't be something it makes that much of a difference. Get it? It's hard. Actually, they can make that much of a difference, yes, but at the same time, they cannot carry you that much because they are just so frequent. If they would carry you, then they would do that every match, and that isn't good for the game, I do think. Okay, let me check something real quick. 5, 6, 5, 6, 5. Actually, this is 6.5, but I digress. Oh god, how many creatures? Huh, see, the damage numbers now show you in K. Video game, are you okay? Okay, I just click it outside of the game window. I lost. What happened there? Oh, what happened there? I want capacitors actually. Not damage. Just give me more capacitors and much of might. It's might for 8 kilo damage. 8,000 damage. Yeah, kilo damage. You heard it. 12k damage in one single smite. I mean, that's bonkers. Oh, gee golly. Look at the range of my structure over here. I just got another purple upgrade, which is not exciting, but it is a purple upgrade after all. Inductance, that is fantastic. No, that is inductance, not fantastic. Let me put another turret here and prepare to smite it. Yeah, that is the amount of enemies I want to show up when you explore a region, not that unholy amount that shows up currently. Like, look at this. Look at this unholy amount of creatures that we'll see. Actually, it wasn't that many. Yeah, resonance. See, things are starting to get shielded. Let me just put some more shields somewhere like there, because they influence so many shields. And crab, yeah, I do like heavy caliber and balls of steel. Why do I prefer damage over attack speed, you ask? And I will tell you as soon as I get this clone factory. Weekly protection, okay, I don't like the upgrade, but I mean, having it for free in the entire rest of the game is nice. But I digress. Let me just smite those poor fools. So let me just do something real quick. Oh, I missed. Never mind. Yeah, I do think this one is more gives me more benefits than the other one. Look, 10,000 damage, 12,000 barrier, 13,000 barrier. Why are you going for such stupid amount of barrier, Ferde? Well, mostly because I want more damage on my smite. Yeah, that's about it. Because capacitors and okay, let me, could you please decease? Oh yeah, and as I was calculating here, I do think if you had every upgrade of the game when the game was released, that being 54 different upgrades, which is the current goal for release, that would involve you getting 4 full rows of upgrades, which I really don't think it's a good number. Actually, I don't think any of this is actually beneficial for my build, but I can tell you how much. Why is Billie Eilish in my... One second, people. One second. So anyway, I am back, and I do think I'm always finishing this recording, but I don't think I will be able to upload it before midnight of the United States. Yeah, I will be able to upload this before Brazil's midnight, but I mean, that would be shameful. What am I? Not being able to upload every day? Because of life, of all reasons? That is boring. And yeah, I don't think this base will last that long, because I do not have the ability of easily getting more upgrades. I don't have, I mean, I have a strong defensive build, but I don't have, I don't know, barrier zap or something, which would make this build actually profitable. I could profit out of it with smite, but see, smite isn't that strong, because, well, you can't use that often. Get it? Okay, I got a lot of money, but I don't have any way of actually using that money for any good, because my smite is no longer killing stuff, which isn't. And by the big red thing on my bottom of my screen, I do think my base is not going to last for that much longer. However, the explosions are pretty interesting since they deal 4k damage. I mean, if I would put something right here, like so, and that would somehow get destroyed, I do think that I would be able to get that upgrade. Because it is 4k damage. It is a very questionable setup. I don't think I'm long for this board anyway. World. Yeah, there is that is a specific word that us Brazilians have difficulty pronouncing. World. Yeah, I do still have the an actual difficulty pronouncing the word world. You see? Can you hear that? That is strange and weird. That's because of our phonemes, I do think. We don't have the RL phoneme in any word of the Brazilian language, of the Portuguese, I do think. So that's why we mess up that quite a lot, actually. I could be wrong. There is some Brazilian out there that will correct me with a word that I don't know that uses RL in Portuguese, because there is always one of those words, not people. I mean, if you like having random trivia and you think that's cool, that's cool. I like having random trivia in my head and mentioning as often as I can. So anyway, I don't think this run will last that long, but it will at least last longer than the last one. Oh, that explosions. Funnily enough, the explosive slugs are kind of counter to the exploding stuff. Mostly because they don't care if they get exploded after they attack, because they already exploded. Which is like mind-blowing. The explosive stuff is counter to explosive stuff. Anyway, here I do think I got something like a long video already, but here you go, guys, because I just didn't have a long first run. So that is the video, I guess. Anyway, let me just see the game releasing that memory. You always talk about that. So about plans for tomorrow. I am a chaotic being, and I talk a lot of plans, but I don't always implement them as soon as possible. You see, I as a chaotic being, I got something. I got a small group of people actually now playtesting the game, which is something cool. It is like more than 0 people, which wasn't the case. Some of the playtesters play much better than I do. Like, I don't know. Yeah, there's that. Like, for instance, my survival record was 25 minutes and 26 seconds, while I've seen runs that go way beyond 28 minutes. Not way beyond, but beyond 28 minutes. Anyway, now that I have such playtests, such help with my playtesters, I do think I will be able to progress a little bit more quickly, but I will also give them preference about what I will implement, the order which I will implement things. And I'm drinking water because I'm staying hydrated. Anyway, that was a long video, and I do think may see you guys tomorrow. I will see you guys tomorrow. I don't know if you guys will see me tomorrow, but goodbye.